Sandy, I've got another webinar. If Stephanie had a Levy Harris come in, just tell me. They're supposed to call me, and I'm gonna run outside real quick. But
good morning. Before we get started, I want to ask everyone to please keep their microphones muted. You can keep your cameras off. It's not necessary to have them on for today's meeting. You're welcome to keep them on, but they're not necessary today. And if you would please use the chat box to ask any questions that you have, and we'll address some of those questions if there's time at the end of the session. And with that, Joe, I'll pass it off to you.
Thank you, Becca. I appreciate that. And we're very excited today to share a new resource with you. And we have contracted with LRP with a platform called DirectSTEP. And it's e-learning, e-courses that are on-demand professional learning. There are 1-hour courses. And we just wanted to first announce that today and share it with you. We're very excited. And then we're going to turn it over to Kelly Whiting, who's going to provide a brief demonstration for us. And again, Becca mentioned, if you have questions, put them in the chat. We will address them at the end and talk a little bit about how we're sharing this resource and scaling it up. So I'm going to turn it over to Kelly.
Thank you, Joe. Well, good afternoon, everybody. My name is Kelly Whiting, and I work here at LRP Publications. And we have partnered with the Kentucky Department of Education to provide this resource, like Joe said, the DirectSTEP e-learning courses to all of the LEAs in the state. As was defined in the announcement that Joe attached to the invite for this meeting today, there's a specific way that they want you to share the courses. And I think Joe said that you're going to talk more about that after I go through my brief demonstration. But basically, these are courses that are online, they're slide-based, and they can be used by your staff for in-house professional development. They're a great way for staff to get that internal training and that in-house training on their own time and at their own pace. They can be taken, they're self-paced, they can be taken anytime, anywhere, as long as somebody has a device that's connected to the internet. So that's what's really nice about these. You know, they can obviously be taken in your school building, you know, at your desk, or they can be taken in someone's home if that's easier for them. So they're a great way to get that in-house professional development, and it's a convenient to all of the users. The only device that we say will not work for the courses is a cell phone. So cell phones are not going to work, but tablets, laptops, desktops, all of those things are accessible for the DirectSTEP courses. So what I'm going to do first is share my screen, and I'm going to show you a brief video that will highlight exactly what the DirectSTEP courses are, how you can use them, and why they are such a valuable resource for you and your staff. So bear with me here while I share my content. Okay, make sure the sound is on. All righty. Here we go.
It's pretty straightforward. Every special education professional has to know how to apply the legal requirements in every decision, every classroom, every issue, every program, every day. But how do you ensure that your staff knows how to act with fidelity in applying the law when interacting with students with
Oops, sorry about that.
disabilities and their families? And at what cost? DirectSTEP is everything you look for in a complete online training tool. DirectSTEP merges current education law with real-world application, providing the best content for your staff. We offer the flexibility to take e-courses at your own pace, anytime, anywhere. We have several different implementation models that can be customized to fit your organizational needs. Every e-course has specific instructional objectives and learning outcomes, so you are ensured that all staff successfully completing e-courses have the ability to put into practice what they've learned. No travel expenses or missed work days. Participants can access e-courses from any computer with internet access, and customized packages can be put together to fit into just about any budget. Participants are required to pass a final assessment for each e-course, while the administrator can track their progress at any time. After passing the final assessment, participants can print a certificate of completion. Each e-learner has a one-on-one interactive experience with the curriculum. They have no peer pressure while learning, so they can feel free to learn at their own pace. This ensures greater comprehension and far greater retention over traditional training. DirectSTEP has been specifically designed for education professionals whose priority is to provide high-quality services to children and their families. We are committed to providing authoritative research-based online training that merges education law with real-world application. Our e-course curriculum offers an unmatched training solution for your staff. Only DirectSTEP online courses are backed by LRP Publications' well-regarded team of experienced special education attorneys, editors, Washington Bureau journalists, analysts, and experts from all over the U.S. We know that teachers, paraprofessionals, and administrators deal with a variety of issues on a daily and weekly basis when serving students. Although they're all involved in the processes, their roles are very different. There are many DirectSTEP e-courses that are tailored to meet those specific needs, including specific topics and how to handle them based on individual job functions and perspectives. By now, it should be clear that DirectSTEP is an easy, convenient, affordable, and the most reliable way to train your staff. Just call us, 1-800-3...
Okay, you don't need to call us because you already have access courtesy of the State Department. So that's why I stopped it a little bit early. So that's just a brief introductory video of what the DirectSTEP courses are. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to share my screen again, and I'm going to actually go to the platform itself. So what we did was when the State Department decided to purchase these courses, we created a platform that the State Department, that all of you will use. So it was created specifically for Kentucky, and it houses all of the courses. So the nice thing about that is that everybody, all of the LEAs, all the districts will go to the same place to access the courses. It's very, very simple. So I'm going to do that now. Okay. I apologize for this transition, just trying to make sure I'm sharing the correct section of my screen. Let's see. Here we go. Nope, not this. You already saw that. Okay. Hopefully you are seeing the actual platform. Could somebody just give me a heads up that I shared the correct screen? There's too many things open here and it's just a little confusing. I'm on the actual platform page. Yeah. Okay, great. Thanks, Joe. Okay, so this is the platform that we created to house the courses. This is where you and your staff will go to take the courses. The first thing I want to show you is the fact that you do have to have a username and a password in order to access the e-learning courses. And that is something that each individual will create themselves. So you do not have to do that for your staff. You'll simply direct them to come here and then they will create their own login. And the way that they do that is they're going to follow the instructions under this section that says, is this your first time here? It walks them through every step. It's very, very simple. So I'm just going to quickly go through this with you as well. Step 1, it says to fill out the new account form with your details. Well, right down here is where you click create new account. and it spells out exactly what we need each individual to do. They create their own username, their own password. Any of the fields with the red circle must be filled in. We also have added 2 additional fields specific to the state of Kentucky. The first drop down is drop down for the school district. So the individual will need to come here and choose which school district or which LEA they are affiliated with. And then we also ask that they choose which school, which specific school they are affiliated with. So the schools have all been loaded onto the platform as well. So they should all be listed there. So once they've done that, they'll come down here and click the I'm not a robot reCAPTCHA and then click create my new account. It's very simple. The whole process takes, about a minute. Then they're going to receive an email. So the platform automatically generates an email that is sent to their email address. They do need to make sure that they're using their district or their school email, because sometimes if you try to use like a Yahoo or a Gmail account, the confirmation email gets kind of lost in the abyss. So they will get an email sent within usually about 5 to 10 minutes. That's the confirmation that they did self-register correctly. They're going to read the email and then click on the web link it contains. It's very simple. They are then officially registered and they will be logged in. Then it tells you to select the course you want to participate in. So we'll talk more about that in just a second. You can ignore any indication of enrollment key. You do not have enrollment keys, so you don't need to worry about that. So I'm going to go ahead and log in with my eLearner username and password that I created, just so you can see what it looks like. So once you've self-registered, you log in with your username and password, and then all of the available courses are listed right here in the middle of the screen for you. I mean, it's that simple. The courses are listed by course number chronologically. So that's going to be a little bit different than what I'm going to show you in just a second. But the courses are all listed here. The Kentucky Department of Education has made every single course available to you folks, which is pretty amazing. So you have access to all of the courses, and you can see there's lots of different topics and titles. There's courses regarding IDEA, discipline, autism, home-based instruction for students with disabilities, all kinds of different topics and things here that you can utilize for in-house professional development with your staff. Some of them are very specific too. Like here's one that talks specifically about students with food allergies and how to make sure that they are being accommodated under Section 504. So the course list is very extensive, and you, like I said, have access to all of them, which is wonderful. So once the e-learner is told which course they're supposed to take, so all of the directors on the call, that again was spelled out in the announcement that Joe attached to the invite, and I think he's going to go over that when I'm finished here. But once you've decided which of your staff are going to take the courses and maybe which courses you'd like them to take, they technically have access to all of them. So you can say, hey, go to it and take as many courses as you want to. That's fine. But let's say that you want them to take this one, Guidelines for Paraprofessionals to Support Instruction of Students with Deaf Blindness. I just clicked on that. I just want to show you the procedure for enrolling in the course or getting into the course. You just simply click on the link, and then you click on the link one more time. And just follow those protocols, then go to enter, and the course will start to load for you. These courses are slide-based, and they are also, you can use, you can use arrows to navigate through them. So you get your title slide, and then you just use these, the forward arrow down here at the bottom to just move on through it. So the first slide is going to tell you how to use the course or how to, navigate through. And then it gives you a brief course description about the author, and then tells you your course outcomes. This is really important, the course learning outcomes. It's something that you're going to want to take a look at maybe before you decide which staff are going to take which courses. And it gives you some of the courses will have like a paraeducator prep standards, that kind of thing. But as you continue through, you will eventually get to the first slide and get right into the content of the course. So they're very simple, like I said, self-paced. The individual navigates through the courses at their own pace. There's also a glossary. Every single course has a glossary. So you can open the glossary in a separate window, keep that open, and then jump back into the course. And then when you need to look up a term, you just simply go straight back to that glossary. So extremely user-friendly. The courses have been set up specifically for that intent, for it to be a user-friendly way to get in-house professional development. Once you go through the entirety of the course, which I'm, obviously not going to take the time to do all of that, but there are activities along the way. But what we're really looking for here is at the very end of the course. Let me see if I can just fast forward to it. Here's a little test your knowledge activity that you get to along the way. But what you're looking for is the very end of the course, there is a final assessment. And the final assessment usually has 10 questions. That is the way that your e-learner can determine whether or not they have passed the course. We require an 80% mastery. If the person does receive 80% on the final assessment, they will have the ability to access a certificate of completion. If they don't get 80%, and it tells you this right here, it tells you everything I'm saying, it's right here on the screen. If they do not get the 80% required, they can go back and retake the course as many times as they need to until they have mastered the content. So it's pretty simple. There's not really much else to it. Then you're going to click Exit Activity, and it will take you back to the list of courses. So you're going to be able to provide these courses to between 2 to 4 staff members. Again, that was spelled out in the email that Joe sent out. Depending on the size of your district, you can share these courses with between 2 to 4 staff members, and those particular staff members can take an unlimited number of courses. So if you share this with a staff member and they want to take every single course, that's great. Max bang for your buck. That's what we want here. So the limit is to the number of people taking the courses, but once you've determined who those people are, they can take as many courses as they would like. Excuse me. Now, to make it easier for you to maybe suggest courses to some of your staff, we've put together a list of course bundles, and hopefully you're seeing that on your screen right now. Just wanted to get a confirmation.
No, we don't see that yet. It still shows the courses.
Okay. Here we go.
Yep, we can see it, Kelly.
Great, thank you. So what we did to make it a little easier again for you to determine possibly, what areas of maybe, professional development different individuals need, we've grouped the courses. We call them course bundles. So we took the courses and grouped them into these different topic areas. There's definitely overlap. Some of the courses would fit under multiple topics, but you've got a grouping for autism, behavior and discipline, excuse me, and this was also attached to the email that Joe sent out. So we grouped all the courses together. It makes it easier for you to come in and maybe identify, like if you've got some new staff, you could tell them you'd like them to take, this particular grouping of courses. So in the hopes of making it a little easier for you, we did go ahead and group them into these bundles like this. There's lots of paraprofessional courses. And that's that last section. And then we have like a section of other courses that didn't fit into the other topic areas. But as you can see, there's really a wealth of information here. And this is probably the easiest way for you to sort of determine who you would like to take which individual courses. All right. And like they're pretty simple. I mean, there's not a whole lot more to talk about. The only other thing I was going to share with you is the flyer that was also attached to the email that Joe sent out. So I'm going to share that now. I know we need to make sure that we're finished up here at 3:30. So let me get to that flyer. Again, you have this as well. Okay. So here's the marketing flyer that we created that you can use to share this information with your staff. You can see that it does direct staff to contact the special ed director if they would like information about the courses. But this is for you to use if you would like to. And it just gives, again, little bit of information, a little bit of background about the courses, and the objectives for the courses are identified here as well. In addition to all of that, you also will always have support from us here at LRP. We have a help desk hotline specifically for the DirectSTEP e-courses, and the information to access the help desk hotline is down here in the bottom right-hand corner. So it says, if you can read that, let me make it a little bit bigger. It says, if you have already self-registered on the course platform, so of course, all of you will need to go through the self-registration process as well. So if you've already self-registered on the platform and you need additional assistance, you can contact the LRP training staff toll free at either the phone number listed there or the email address listed there. And it also says you can contact you being the special ed director. So depending on what the person's need is, there's always support. We always have our team ready to answer questions and assist people if they're having difficulty for some reason self-registering, which rarely happens. It's a very, very simple process. So you have all of these things at your fingertips, including the flyer. And I think that was everything that I was going to talk about. So I'm going to stop sharing now and come back. And okay, Joe, what else did we want? Do you want to go over that email that designates how many people from each district can have access?
Yes, thank you, Kelly, for sharing the information. Again, we're very excited about this new resource, and we want to get the announcement out today. And then our expectation is that directors begin to think about who they're sharing the information with, and all school districts are using these courses. And so I will be sending an email, and that will include some instructions about what we're going to talk about and scaling it up, as well as the course list and the flyer that Kelly mentioned. So you'll have all of that information. I did want to remind you that the goal is to have each director of special education at each school district to have an account for themselves. As Kelly mentioned, this is not for like a PLC group where we are getting in a large room and sharing access or accounts. It's an individualized on-demand account for each person. So we're starting with the dose of each district. And we would like for the director to think about, get familiar with it, think about how you would use the resource, and then how you would share it out starting with some folks on your leadership team. We are limited to the number of accounts that we have right now, and so we're wanting to see how this resource is used. And so we're starting with the director, and then we want districts to think about how they would kind of scale up or roll this out. And think about the three categories of a small district, a medium district, and a large district. And Kelly mentioned 2 to 4 accounts. So if you're a small district, we were wanting you to think about 1 account for the director, and then 1 account you might share with somebody else on your leadership team to be, a total of 2 accounts. If you're a medium district, 1 for the director, and think about sharing 2 for some other folks to have, a total of 3. And then if you're a large district, we would like for you to have the dose have 1 and share with 3 other people. The special education cooperatives and the early childhood regional training center directors have access to this as well. And it's just 1 account for you all to have, and not sharing with anybody else, but getting in there, thinking about and using the resource and thinking about how the school districts you work with in your region might use this. And so again, this is a new resource. We're very excited. We're limited in our accounts, but we're getting familiar with the platform and thinking about how we would use it. And of course, we're excited to partner with LRP. And so make sure you directors know the URL. The link will be included in the email. And then that is where you go and register for an account, and then think about who you would share this information with. So again, we're very excited for this. Thank you, Kelly, for participating with us today and sharing the information. If you do have any questions, please contact me at joseph.mccowan@education.ky.gov. And we were not going to open it up for questions, but if we do, it looks like we have a few minutes. If you want to type a question in the chat, feel free to do so, and we can respond. I know Regina asked if we'll be getting a copy of this, and yes, I'll be sending the information to you. And again, that's the instructions for scaling up, the course list, and the flyer.
And one other thing, I just wanted to reiterate something that Joe just said. The e-learning courses, the DirectSTEP courses, were set up to be taken by individuals. Like Joe said, it is not something that you are going to pull a big group of staff into a room and project it up onto a smart board. The purpose of the courses is for individuals to get the training and development where they need it specifically. They go through the slides on their own pace so that they are retaining the information. And then that certificate of completion has that individual person's name on it. So they were created and designed to be used by individuals, and it is a license violation to use them in any other format. So please don't do that. I just wanted to remind everybody of that. Also, another thing that's exciting to know about is that the Kentucky State Department has partnered with us to provide you with another resource that you will be hearing about very soon called Special Ed Connection. And Special Ed Connection is going to be something that you'll be able to roll out and offer to all of your staff. It's going to be set up a little bit differently. It's a website that provides you with guidance and best practices on how to make sure that you are serving your special education students with fidelity every single day. It gives you really practical guidance and things that you can use every single day and implement with your students immediately. And that's going to be available very soon. And it will be something that you can share with all of your staff. So it's a different resource altogether, but you're very fortunate that the State Department is providing you with both the DirectSTEP courses and Special Ed Connection at no charge to any of you. So it's a great tool, and you will be hearing about that soon.
Thank you so much, Kelly, and thanks everyone for spending time with us today. Hopefully you're able to take time to check out this resource and get an account and begin to share and give us feedback on what you think. So again, I'm Joe McCowan. Please send me questions. You all have a great day. Thank you.
Thank you.